Hey, gather round, folks. It's another week and so another episode. Something for you, your mom, your significant other, and your best friend to be happy about. I picked your mom not for the mom jokes, but because she probably just wants to see you happy. I picked your significant other because they have something to gain from this situation or lose from this situation. And I picked your best friend because, well, dogs. Dogs are amazing. And cats are cool too, but mostly dogs. This week we're going to talk about hacks to make aviation more affordable. Well, the ultimate hack. Like we mentioned in that last video, there's no way to do that better than to take a deep dive into experimental airplanes. Let's start here. This is an experimental airplane, and so is this, and so is this. I bet you didn't know that this is also an experimental airplane, and if you did, then congratulations, you belong here. I can almost promise you that your idea of experimental airplanes doesn't run the full gamut. Let me explain. Before any airplane makes it out into the production world, they have to be rigorously tested. It's a part of what I do in my day job. Usually, they're tested on experimental platforms. Even if you just want to do a simple modification to a certified airplane, in many instances, it's converted temporarily to an experimental airplane, tested, and then converted back into its normal certified category. Experimental aviation has its ups and downs just like everything else, but one of the highest highs is the fact that it's probably, for the most part, the most affordable way to break into general aviation. Right, so we're going to make you an aerospace engineer in exactly 10 seconds. Wings, fuselage, engine, empennage, which includes all of the tail feathers, landing gear, seats, windows, money, noise, more money, more noise. That's what airplanes are made of. Congratulations, you've already passed the test. If someone has the know-how, they can put pen to paper, design a machine, build said machine in their garage or their basement or their hangar, and then apply for a special airworthiness certificate to fly that machine. That is home-built or amateur-built aviation. The other popular thing to do is call up someone like Dick Van Grunsman, Vans as you would know the airplanes, and get a kit. That kit has instructions, it's got a huge forum, it's got people who've put it together before, and people who will tell you exactly how you will or will not fail so you don't make their mistakes. And that is usually a really nice experience. It does take a whole bunch of time, but you get the guidance of the wider aviation audience or community to help you put this kit together. One of my favorite kit airplanes is the Sling TSI from the Airplane Factory. I had the pleasure of meeting the designer of the Sling TSI, Mike Blythe, at Oshkosh a few years ago, and let me tell you, I was having my fangirl moment. This airplane is aluminum in construction, has modern avionics, high gross weight, high altitude cruise, high speed cruise, low fuel consumption, looks like this. I mean, the thing is beautiful. You can paint it whatever color you want, and I believe it's built as well or even better than the modern day certified offerings like the Cessna 172 or the modern day Piper Archers. It's certainly held together much better than my 60-year-old or 50-year-old Piper Arrow. If you still don't believe me that experimental aviation is the way to go, I really want you to pull out your phone or maybe go to Google and search for the Cessna TTX. Then pull up another tab and search for the Columbia 300. Then pull up another tab and search for the experimental Lancair Super ES. Now take a moment, do some reading, and tell me what's the difference between those three airplanes. I'll answer the question for you right now. There's not a whole bunch different except for the Lancair ES. You can modify the crap out of that thing and make it exactly what you want. The others are certified and will take a whole bunch of money and perhaps an act of Congress to move forward in terms of developing new and novel ideas that you can stick onto the airplane. As for the cost, because most of you are curious about that, you'd probably find a mid-2000s Lancair Super ES for $350,000 US, and then the best example of a Cessna TTX that you can find will probably hit $750,000. Now, Is it $400,000 more airplane? Probably not. Probably not. While I have your attention, let's remember that if you want to fly, then buy. If you want to build, then build. You can't do both unless you have multiple airplanes. And, well, looking in the mirror, that's exactly where I'm at. But don't use me as an example. Look at your own financial situation and figure out what's best for you. It's also worth mentioning that construction techniques matter when it comes to home built or amateur built or kit built airplanes. You have composite options, all metal options, wood wrapped in fabric, metal wrapped in fabric. It really comes down to your own desires, your financial situation, and how the airplane is going to be used. It's almost comical that most of my videos keep wrapping back around to the same thing. What's your mission? What would you like to do with these airplanes? What type of airplane do you actually need? And what kind of airplane could you actually afford? If I hadn't used my devilish good looks to buy an airplane super cheap in the past, this is probably what I'd be looking at. Well, I'm also 6'6", so maybe I couldn't fit perfectly, but you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. You have to have that exact same conversation with yourself. Now, if my regular mission was flying from Cincinnati with Skyline Chili down to Savannah to see a significant person in my life and then fly back in the course of 2 days, let's say, well, I've got a bonanza for that, but you might want to use this airplane. It's high speed, it's only got 2 seats, but you're not carrying anything more than Skyline Chili anyway, and it's relatively affordable. For a good pilot with some good transition training, this might just be your ticket, or something along these lines. You see what I'm saying? Now, many of us are just out here building time, bopping around to get that $100 hamburger, or just impressing the girl that you met on a dating app last night. I'm happy to let you know that this type of airplane checks all of those boxes. Well, a Murphy Moose might check more of those boxes than an RV6, but you understand the point. Okay, I've been talking a whole lot and not really doing a whole bunch about it, so why don't we change that? And one of the best ways I can think to switch things up is to show you this. That is, yeah, this is comical. Holy crap. Wow. Yeah. You've either got one of 3 responses to seeing what I just showed you. It's either, terror, experimental airplane, looks like a heap of junk, or, wow, that's actually pretty cool. I really hope you can get along doing what you need to do. Or, what the heck are you doing? I mean, this is a lot to take on for a small channel and someone that's got a full-time job. Well, you'll be right on that last part, but I'll tell you, we have the know-how, we've got the parts, and we've got the time. We make the time for general aviation. So that right there is a RANS S10, originally built in 1993, and we've got all the pieces that we need to put it back together. You won't see the wings here, they're somewhere else, we're gonna truck them in. But it's a project that I think we're gonna take on and see where we get to and show you that all of this stuff is possible. A follower and a really good friend, one of my favorite people, reached out to me and said, hey, I know you've been talking about general aviation and affordability and trying to get more people into flying. Well, let's talk about experimentals, i.e. the reason that you're watching this video right now. And then that favorite person of mine, I'm just gonna name him right now, Richard. Richard said, we can put an airplane together and show people that it's truly possible. Show them that it doesn't take $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. It might not even take $20,000 to get into an airplane that's reliable and safe, and you're gonna learn something along the way. Yep, That's where we're going. And all the other airplanes that we've talked about, except the Diamond, realistically, are still going to be on the channel, but I want to show you that I don't just come on YouTube to make videos about random things. I actually want to encourage you to go start your own aviation journey. The other cool thing about the internet here is there are already so many resources that you can tap into. Go ahead and follow the Experimental Aircraft channel on YouTube. They do videos about old experimental airplanes and the brand new offerings. It gives you in-depth reviews, behind the scenes footage of flying the airplanes, everything you could possibly want for making a decision on what type of airplane you're going to want to look at in the future. Another couple free resources of people giving you information from behind their cameras. Go on YouTube and find Mojo Grip. He's got a Sling TSI and he's had one for quite some time, and he is obsessed with that airplane because it is something that he put a lot of time and a lot of effort into owning. He sold it at one point and loved it and missed it so much that he bought it back. So that's an incredible story. He's got good videos about that airplane on his channel. If you want the perfect intersection of beautiful footage and cool airplanes, also go follow Trent Palmer. He used to have a Kit Fox, and that airplane has now been sold. It was the Freedom Fox. He's now building a Legend Cub, which is a light sport or an LSA aircraft. It's certified, but it's backcountry, big tires, looks like the Kit Fox, but a little bit more performance. And if experimental airplanes aren't your thing, that's okay too. I want you to go over and find Russ from Russ Can Fly, Alex at the Alpha Kilo Warrior channel, and Kerry from the Rusty Pilot channel, and give them a follow. Be sure to hit any one of their videos and just leave a comment that says, Jawanza from Open Source GA sent me over here for a good time, and if I don't get it, then I'm going to be in trouble. Well, you're going to be in trouble. Another great resource, the Experimental Aircraft Association, EAA. The same people that host Oshkosh, which I hope you're going to try to show up because I will too. They have a wealth of knowledge stuffed away inside their little website, eaa.org. Go and take a look. Get prepared to go out there and find other airplanes. And until I see you again, do some research. Let me know how I can help. We'll see you soon. Alright, so here's how this went. I was at home one day, just minding my own business, and I get a call, and it's from one of my favorite people. Richard says to me, hey, you really want to show people what affordable aviation looks like? I've got a project that's going to be right up your alley, and he's going to be willing to help. And who am I to say no to opportunities like that? What you're looking at is a Rand's S10. It was originally built in 1993 by an amateur builder, and it's flown around. It had an engine on it. It's been covered before, but what we're going to do is take that project that deserves a little bit of love and a little bit of attention and recover the airplane, get it up and flying, get a power plant for it, although we already have one. We're going to seek out some options, and then do a light avionics package to make sure that we have all of the creature comforts that one comes to expect from modern time experimental aviation. Now, it's a smaller airplane, and I'm likely not gonna be able to fly it just like the Diamond, but that's not the point. It's showing you that you can get out there and get into some of these projects if you have some of the money and the people, the know-how, the knowledge to do this safely the first time, because aviation is incredibly unforgiving. And that's one of the things you've got to remember. It may look like I'm having fun and just playing around, messing around in the hangar, but realistically, I'm taking this stuff incredibly seriously. Now, this is as simple as an airplane gets, and I'm going to learn a whole lot in the process of getting it covered. I've never worked on a fabric airplane before, so the building or the rebuilding process is going to teach me a lot about experimental airplanes and the way that things go these days with a fabric covered airplane. So stick around. I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to give you instant gratification on this one. You're not going to be able to snap your finger and see a finished flying airplane, but this is something that we're going to be doing. And for those of you who showed up for either a Piper Arrow, a Diamond DA-20, a Bonanza, or information on how to buy an airplane, all of that stuff is going to still keep happening in the background. We've just got other things that we're going to throw ourselves into and take you along for the journey. So let's see how this goes.